Welcome to the Oh So Spurs podcast. Sorry we're a bit late tonight, everyone. I normally would be starting the show an hour and 15 minutes ago alongside Joe, but I was on Last Word on Spurs with Paul O'Keefe tonight doing a transfer special. But moving forward, we're back to our original start time, which is better for the folks in Europe and worse for my wonderful co-host, Joe. How are you, Joe?
I'm doing well, mate. I feel like a son that's dad's been out at work. I've just been waiting for him to get home so I can play some games with him. Let's build some Legos together. You've got some good goss there. You've been making money for the family, so I appreciate what you've been doing for us.
And I'm already getting trolled by Ross. How are you, mate? Yeah, I didn't get as much to say, did I, Ross? But it's still good fun. It was really, really good. And just a big up to some of the members in there. So, Sean, how are you, my friend? How are you? Did you enjoy the game on Saturday? Ross J, hello. Oh, D just jumping in as well. But I just finished off saying hi to members. Of course, Ross, I won't forget you, mate. So you said, funny thing is, we're going to get to the questions in a sec. I'm just going to say hello to everyone. Con, good to see you, mate. Hope you're well. And yes, good morning, afternoon, or evening, depending on where else you are joining in. Hello, Nicholas. Yeah, normally we start an hour and a half sooner, Nicholas, but due to other commitments, I had to start later, which is actually better for Joe and no different at all for Deej. How are you, Deej?
Doing good, doing great. Encouraged by the performance yesterday. I was a little bit worried for the start of the season because, I don't know, I couldn't remember the last time we had a Premier League win, to be honest.
Yeah.
And so it feels good to not have to worry about the outcome of a game for the last like 10 or so minutes. That was a fun one. Yeah, I don't know. We'll talk more about the game, I'm sure, later, but doing pretty good.
Where do you want to start? I've just been on for an hour, Paul, so I could give the transfer update, which will take me 2 minutes to summarize, maybe less.
Go for it.
So obviously the three main players we're after are Eze, Savinho, and oh my gosh, I've just got the centre back's name. Go on, Deej.
Hincapie.
Hincapie. Those we are after all three in this window. The likelihood of them coming in is probably that order of Eze, Savinho, and Hincapie, but Savinho and Eze are getting a bit closer in terms of partiality. The delay on both is pretty much the same thing, it sounds like, is that Palace want to replace Eze or have confidence they've got Eze's replacement before letting him go. And Man City want the confidence they're going to get Rodrigo before they let Savinho go. And then there's the small other bits of the fees are pretty much agreed and the terms are in the latter stages, but it's not 100%, but it's nearly there. And there's a world in which Eze is done on Monday or Tuesday next week. There's a world in which he's not. So it's kind of the standard transfer stuff of everything's agreed personally, but the hard bit, which is getting the clubs to agree on the final pieces, isn't there. But even Glasner's comments about Eze being his player until next week, that was kind of brushed over as if Eze was staying, he could have easily stamped out this whole rumour instantly, but he hasn't. And that kind of message to the fans, if he was staying, it would have been a, I love you, I'm staying. It's not going to be an ambiguous, I just really appreciate you guys. So anyway, long story short is, yeah, it does seem like we're going to get at least one of those. But what's your guys' gut saying on this? Just focusing on the three players we know are actual transfer concrete links, because we don't do conjecture and rumours on here that are just made up for clicks. But we know those three are like genuinely interested. How many, Joe, sorry, how many of those three? 0, 1, 2, or 3? Do you think we'll actually finish the window with?
I mean, the history of not getting everything that we want it's hard to rule out for, I think, everyone. I think everyone's like, we probably won't sign all three. We could. I think 2. It seems like with City, Savinho, they are like, well, you pay us the same amount of money that we'll pay for Rodrigo, then we'll be happy. We're just like trying to keep driving up the price. So it depends on how hard they go with driving up the price, because there is a limit to what we should pay for him. I think the limit's pretty high. I would rather overpay for Eze, but he's coming towards in some way the end of his contract. And you guys mentioned on Last Word on Spurs about how the same thing happened with Mark Gay, and I guess they're trying to avoid that situation. So, like, I want to say too, Ross mentioned before, if we can say his name right, I'm going to say Hincapie till I'm proven wrong by him. Easier to say. Yeah, we don't know. We just don't know. And the feeling is that we're doing more now. We're doing more than we've ever done in the past. And so I want to say we could get 3. But then history says that a couple of them will peter out. So I don't know, DJ, what do you think? Do you think that we're going to get all 3 of them? Do you think we'll get 1? How are you feeling towards it? What's your gut feeling?
First of all, I just want to hopefully reassure Lethal 27 that my music taste is not country, despite me living in the U.S. Not all of us listen to that. I listen to pretty much everything else, though. I just thought that was a funny question. But yeah, I think I would love to get Hincapie in. I just did a quick Google search, and the like AI generated things for them were pretty much going with that. So I don't know if that's right, but that's how I'm going to say it until proven otherwise. I'm sticking to my.
Gotta say it again.
Hincapie.
No, I don't like it.
I've actually got it. I had it on a YouTube thing. Whenever I'm on like air and I see like it's like this player's next talking point, I'm like, just got to make sure I get the pronunciation right. But I've switched it to, oh my gosh, what's the other guy called? Maki. There's another guy we're linked with for Monaco.
Oh,
Makiush.
the
Akiush. Akiush.
Yeah, Akiush.
Akiush. Yeah, Akiush. But there's a more important question, Deej. What music are you into, mate? Apparently, are you into country music?
No, fortunately, I listen to pretty much anything else. So, but yeah, I get how that would be a question of interest given my name. It is completely unrelated to disc jockeying, unfortunately. But yeah, I think in terms of players that we will really sign, Ross, I'm kind of in agreement with that. That's why I loved the Tell signing at the time. You can't mess that one up, really. I guess Matisse is a little bit hard, but we can just call him Tell, and it's fine.
Yeah, everyone's tried different versions of Matisse.
Yeah.
Matthias. No, I haven't heard that one. Matthias, I haven't heard that.
Fortunately, Tell, we can just all call him Tell, and it's fine. But yeah, in terms of transfers, I think we'll end up with 2. Just because it feels like Hincapie is signing Hincapie as a depth signing would be a crazy departure from the way in which Tottenham generally spend money. I'm not part of that. Like, that's just a lot of his release clause, I think, was quoted somewhere around 60 million euros. I'm assuming if we are going for him, I don't think it'll be at that price point, but still, that's like a senior player that gets a decent amount of minutes for a team that, like a Champions League level team, that we would then bring in to assumingly play the bench, unless we are very concerned about Van de Ven's long-term outlook in terms of being able to maintain fitness, which is possible. Obviously I'm not a doctor, so I don't know anything about how he's progressing, but if that's a serious concern, then I guess that transfer would make a little more sense. But of the 3, I think he's the least likely. Savinho I've felt weirdly confident about, more so even than Eze until the past day or so, just because it's just such a not standard, I guess, Tottenham link, if that makes sense. It's such a weird transfer, and those kind sometimes you get stuff say Hincapie is a transfer that you would say make sense, I guess, if you're looking at it from the outside. You're like, oh, Tottenham need a center back, and they're going to sign someone from the Bundesliga because Premier League has more money, we can pay him more, blah blah blah, whatever. Savinho is a player who played 30 games for City last season and is by no means
and wasn't bad
poorly in any of them. He was their leading assister last season, I believe, tied with De Bruyne across all competitions, definitely in the Premier League. And they're willing to get rid of him. I get that part of that is due to him wanting more minutes before the World Cup, so that could be a point that plays in our favor. And obviously, it sounds like he really wants the move, based on I don't know how real the Bye. Um,
He
how
just
real
restarted his
the
computer. It's playing up. Yeah.
how real the rumors are about his agent flying into London or whatever. But if that's the case, then that's the kind of stuff that makes me more confident than I don't know. As it
Yeah.
just feels like someone could be just around the corner, waiting for us to agree to a fee structure.
Yeah, I'm used to seeing us going after players in a Palace type position who are, last couple of years of contract, they're their main player, a club that's realistically not going to be overtaking Tottenham unless something drastic happens on a consistent basis. So it feels like those players know it's a step up. They know they can earn more money. They know there's more chance of success going to Spurs, and a Liverpool and a City aren't in for them. But you don't often see Spurs going for a club above them in the pecking order's player who is valued by that club. That's just a really hard ask. I don't think it's anything to do with ambition or anything else. Because I think if you went and said, I'm putting a bid in for every player at City, Liverpool, Chelsea, Arsenal, PSG, Barcelona, and Real Madrid, that starts for them, you'd get a list back of just laughing emojis. I think it doesn't matter if you meet their asking price. They're like, we're the club besides, we don't sell them unless we want to. We tell you when those players are leaving. But we went into City and we went, we want him, and the players turn around and gone, yeah, I fancy Spurs. That just feels different. And I'm hoping it's a positive thing that Spurs are seen as a club that's stepped up and moved forward and can compete for honours and can be seen as a club that's going to be reliably in Europe regularly. So hopefully it's a good thing. And I do think if we got all three of those players, genuinely, I'm going, you know what? Fourth or third isn't actually that stupid. If you got all three, I think you need a lot of luck to get all three. Ambition aside, I think you need luck.
A lot of money to get all three, outside of luck and whatnot.
Yeah, that's true. But there you go. Should we before turning into loads of transfer rumours and conjecture and stuff, Deej, should we get Joe back in and talk about the game? Do we let Joe in? Do we let Joe in? Do we vote on that?
Maybe not.
Yeah, go on, get him in.
Okay,
Get him
we'll
in.
I can hear you. I can hear what you're saying about me.
Joe, did you watch the game? Of course you watched
sure
the game.
did.
Go on, mate. What's
sure
your
did.
synopsis of that 3-0 win by the mighty Tottenham Hotspur?
I loved it. It was very enjoyable. I woke my wife up because it was probably, let's say, 1 a.m. when it happened, when Richie scored that bicycle kick. And she said that she had a little smile with me having some joy, which is nice to hear. But there was, I guess, it was a game of, do you know how sometimes people say a game of two halves? I think it was a game of three quarters, or where we played really well for 3 quarters. And then there was that sort of period after the first goal, maybe 25 minutes towards the end of the half, where we sort of set off a little bit. We're a bit sort of passive. But then, I nearly said Andrew, Frank must have said something in the dressing room at halftime, because we came out the second half and dominated again. It was really good to see that such young midfield, because that's the midfield that people were saying that's our future, really, last season. That's the midfield for 4 years down the track. So it was interesting to see them all play together. I thought Archie was pretty good. Bergwell was pretty good. Sarr was good. Romero-wise, I think there was a lot of sloppy passes from Romero, but I also feel like that was potentially kind of due to positions that the midfielders were in. I think he was expecting people to be in different spots. They're not sort of reading the space a bit. I thought it would be interesting to go through the players in the stream, to sort of have a chat about the different players and how they went. But overall, I thought it was really good. There were some really positive signs. What were your guys' thoughts?
Well, first of all, someone asked where I am. I'm in San Francisco, but I don't know. I travel a lot, so if you see me pop up with not this in the background, there's my finger. Mirroring on the camera is weird to me, but I'm probably somewhere else. I'll be in Austin all this week, and I'll be melting basically. But yeah, I thought that the game was a lot of fun to watch, especially once the second half started. I was flying home from Colorado yesterday, so I was in the airport waiting to board my flight when Richie's second goal went in. I just like stood up and went like this, and then my girlfriend looked at me and like kind of covered her face because she was a little embarrassed. But yeah, I thought that the game was really good. I thought that you could tell that this team will explode if we get a. I'm sorry. I'm talking like a freaking social media personality, which I guess sort of am. But this team will explode with Eze. I'm gonna use that.
Clearly
I
not.
love a superlative, right? Is
Yeah,
that
I
all
do.
part of the algorithm now? Just trying to boost it up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Disappointing you, Deej. Go on.
Sorry, I got it, but because like there were just so many times.
Does he
Well, first of
change
all,
everything? Did he change everything?
Eze is going to change
He's going to
everything.
change everything. Yeah.
I have also to keep talking about the guy who knows San Francisco. I have been to Danny Coyle's a couple times. I'm trying to get into a better habit of going, but when I'm actually in town for the games. Unfortunately, that hasn't been the case yet this season, but hopefully soon.
Should we go through some of the players then, guys? I know in the comments, feel free to suggest where you want to start. But Joe, did you have someone on your mind that you wanted to start with? You wanted to bring up this topic of working our way through the team. So I think you start us off, mate. Who should we kick off with?
Let's just go random. I want to talk about Saar because I'm interested. Do you think he'll go and play as an 8 constantly if Eze comes in? Do you think he will? Because he's been playing really well this preseason, the first couple of competitive games. He's been amazing. He's been that pressing 10. Do you think he just is an automatic pick for the team now? Do you think he's one of the first names on the team sheet and he'll play as an 8? Because he can.
It's so hard of him. I feel like I don't think he's a 6 or an 8, but that's fine because there is no such thing as a perfect 6. There's different types of 6, there's different types of 8s, there's different types of 10s. And I feel like Saar's in this kind of, in a similar vein that I think Kulusevski's a brilliant player, but he's not a natural right winger, but he's still a good right winger. And he's not a natural 10, but he's still a good number 10. And that means he adds tons of value because he can play multiple roles. You can play him in central midfield in some capacity. And because he's such a good footballer, he can hold his own. I feel like Saar's a bit in that kind of realm, but at the same time, he's getting so much better so quickly. He could end up not being a jack of all trades and being a specialist of some kind. But go about you, Deej. You're thinking about it.
Well, when we first created our Oso Spurs Discord, if you have Discord and you'd love to join and talk about random bullshit, including Tottenham most of the time, I'd say join the Discord. It's a lot of fun. But one of the first questions we asked to start the conversation was who we thought would be a player that would be more important this season than they were last season. And my answer, I'm going to toot my own horn now, just in case anything happens, was Saar, because I thought that he possesses. Oh, sorry, yeah. I thought that he was going to be like really important because of his ability to run forever, and especially in like today's game, that's you can't undervalue, like you can't overvalue that. Like it's so important to just be able to be everywhere, and Saar somehow has that ability, which is why I think that long term, I think he could settle in as more of an number 8. And the reason I think he doesn't work right now in like our system is because we need our 8 to do more ball progression through like passing and stuff that currently that like we could have the 6 do, but we signed Polina. So like Polina, we made a choice basically to sure. He's a 7. I don't know. I don't necessarily think that's the position you would put him in with the numbers thing, but I forget all of them. Jim is muted and talking, so it's fine. He probably had something witty to say, but
I did. It's not going to be funny now if I say it again. So let it slide. It was a bad joke that got away with thanks to the mute button. So
nice. Congratulations. But anyway, I think that if Archie Gray continues to develop, I think that I think he has a probably more expansive passing range than Polina, so playing them together I think could work. If we were to play someone like Bentancur at the 6, which I don't think is the best idea, just because I don't love his defensive positioning, and I still do think that the best thing for a 6 is to be defensively sound. But I think that Sarr, just by the nature of him being everywhere, he doesn't necessarily even need to have the expansive passing range that you would kind of expect from an 8. And like we saw with the Johnson goal, where he's just like able to pick up a ball, and then like he's when I say he doesn't have an expansive passing range, he's still like a very good passer. Like he's especially like his weighted through balls. He had a couple of them at the beginning of last season. I remember one of them. It was to Maddison against Fulham, I think. And it was just like a perfectly weighted ball into a Maddison run, and then he scored that. So he's adept at making those kinds of passes, which is something that is really good for an 8 to do. So, and especially like passing touch like that is something that often comes with age. So he can already do the hard part, the part you can't teach. So he's getting better at the parts you can teach. So I kind of think the sky's the limit for him. He's such a great player.
I hope one day is one of those that you see pulling on the armband and you go, I was there for the whole journey of this guy. And I believed, I told you, and some of you laughed. Some of you even suggested a loan. You crazy, crazy people.
Who would say that?
I don't know. Nutters. Can I choose the next one? Throw it to Joe.
Go, choose.
I think Richarlison is worth a chat here.
Mm-hmm.
He's in a conversation. It's been one game, yeah, but actually 2, PSG as well. Is he in a fair conversation to be? Well, he is our number 9, but be the actual starting number 9 for Spurs after that.
I think at the moment,
what do you make of his performance as well? Go on.
I thought it was great. I thought it was great in both games that have been competitive this year. Obviously, through preseason, he's been ramped up. So I think his hold-up play and receiving the ball has been really good. He's been everywhere. He's been defensively really good as well. He's been getting back. There's been blocks he's been making in defensive side of the ball as well. But I think at the moment, he is the starting striker for us. Not just because Solanke is coming back from an injury, but I think that he's in form. So why would you drop him? He just needs to have his minutes managed. I guess now we're still at 1 game a week right now. So he'll probably be able to start against City. And I think that's the right decision. But yeah, he's been great. I also think selling him to moving on, not just because he's playing well, is that who else could you bring in? Who else could you actually bring into the squad at the moment that would be an upgrade on him? I mean, I just don't think that player's not out there. I don't think that's worth even trying. It's not an important part of our position. So, yeah, I think he's if he can continue this and stay healthy, touch wood, that he. But I think I'm torn whether you have to make decisions on people's health, because he could have a season where he doesn't get injured. That's a possibility. I guess how many injuries do you have to have where it becomes a concern in your career that you just can't be valued? Isn't that one? Is Solanke now, though? Because Solanke's been injured for a decent chunk twice while he's been at us. So is Solanke come into that? I don't think so. I think we're not concerned that he's going to be a long-term injury person. And then there's Porro, I guess, who's the opposite, who you don't go, oh, we need to have backup for Porro because he's never injured. So it's always tricky to sort of do the unknowns with those kind of things. I'm just really hoping he has a full season of health, Richarlison, and can continue to this form. But that goal was just both goals were ridiculous. The other one was nearly at his hip height, and he just controlled it and placed it in the corner. And then the second one was just, and the look on his face was kind of just that smile of just being like, yeah, look what I just did. And then getting slapped on the head constantly because he's South American is enjoyable too.
So on him as well, you remember when he had his mental health challenges in his form? He went from like outstanding form to kind of quite openly having a bit of a difficult patch in his life that made it quite hard. I was chatting to Richard, who listened to the show, but he also lived in Rio for a long time, and he was explaining more about the complex life that Richarlison's been through, but effectively a group of people who picked Richarlison up at a young age, knowing he's going to be a good footballer, bought almost like shares in him, is how I understand it. Now, if someone in the comments understands this model better than me, you can explain. But effectively, you can pick up kids in football academies, buy rights to them effectively, and you can control certain aspects of them. You get a cut of their pay for forever, basically. So he was in this situation where someone else owned 60% of him effectively and what he could do. And it all got very toxic. It got very difficult. He wanted to exit that way. He was having to give away huge amounts of his money. You know, he's got family back that he wants to support with his money, all these other things. Anyway, it all spiraled into a really difficult place. And he was contending with all that whilst we slam dunked him for being in bad form. And the 22 defeats were going on and he had his injuries. And he's persevered through all that. He's just a proper fighter, that guy. I think it was just important to highlight he's been through more, I think, than people saw on the surface, supposedly. But if someone knows more about that situation, it'd be good to get your comments there.
That's very interesting, though. I didn't know that. And that sounds terrible as a concept of buying rights to kids' footballing ability. It sounds like Marinakis might be into that, allegedly.
I was going to say, Hisu made me this brilliant cap. It says, "Come on, you Spurs" in Korean. I've got it on the ground, but I've realized I can't wear it on the show because I wear headphones. So it lives behind me when I'm on full screen, Hisu. You'll see it as part of my backdrop, but thank you so much. I wore the other one out and about today as well. And if you do want to send me nice merch, I'm joking. For anyone else. Mr. Mark, I've got a feeling that Richie now... Actually, Deej, you really wanted one of these hats, so I'll give you the second one because you really liked it as well. And we got one.
I do.
I get the feeling that Richie is now looking better than his best spell for us in December 23. Perhaps the motivation of the World Cup. Do you think the motivation of the World Cups, and hello Milton as well, by the way, mate. Good to see you, mate. But do you think the motivation of the World Cup's helping?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard not to. I think, especially for like Richarlison, he very clearly has a lot of like pride being able to play for his country, and I think that that's obviously something that is like a bit of an extra motivator. I also think that part of it is just he's healthy, like to start a season for the first time in a while, from what I can remember. So that's exciting. It's always nice when our players can play. Whether or not he's able to maintain his health is something that I guess we'll see. But I think now that we have Solanke to rotate with, he's we'll be less inclined to push him past his like bodily limits, I guess. We'd have to hope that there's nothing unlucky happens. But I do think that the squad depth will allow us to keep him in a more playable state this season than we would have last season, because I think last season I don't want to go into it too much again because it's behind us. But I think obviously like the injury snowball and forcing Richarlison to basically play, if he wasn't playing at the 9, he was playing on the wing, and then you just can't play that many games.
Well, Richie, superstar, amazing. Please keep it up. You are going to be pivotal to our season if you stay fit. Guys, shall we move on to some of the other players who were also brilliant? And one of them, I think Deej is gearing it up here. He did a pretty sweet, and I was sat in the south stand. I had such a good view of both of Richie's amazing goals, and this touch was like 50 meters from me. I was so close to it. That beautiful touch to Kudus. Joe, does this guy level up? Does he change everything? Is he going to be is he that good? Or is he leveled up the right? Or should we talk about it properly? He's made the right side of Spurs look stronger than it was last season, right?
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, that touch where he just sort of did the bit of skill for no reason is a very enjoyable thing to see. And I guess people say this thing where it's like, that's why people pay to go to the football for those sort of things. He's very exciting. He's sort of very confident when he gets the ball that he's going to sort of do something with it or not going to lose the ball. He's it seems to be extremely professional, intelligent, and works really hard too. So all the attributes that you'd want. I think the biggest downfall for him that he was signed so early in the window that people are forgetting that we have signed him and they're not as excited. They're like, oh, we need Eze, we need Savinho in. I mean, we've got, I think, who's going to be one of the best players in the league this season. I'd be surprised with what he's shown so far if he can continue this, that he's not our player of the season by the end of the season. I mean, Sar's had a good start too. With that sort of thing, 2 assists and just the excitement that he brings. It's every time he gets the ball.
Richie Golden Boot and Kudus player of the season you're going for so far, Joe, is that it?
Yep. What other awards can we give to people?
Young player of the year to
Young player of the year. Savinho, yeah, he can have that one.
Puskas Award.
Richie's already got it. No.
So Richie's off Ballon d'Or.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, we're doing this right.
Runner in my eyes, yeah.
Doing this right. Keep sensationalizing stuff. Yeah. It's quite fun though, isn't it? Yeah, but he was awesome, right, Deej? You in love with Kudus?
I'm big fan of Kudus. I have not made that very secret since we signed him, and I'm glad that he is proving my love for him right early. Some players take time to bet in, but this is why you buy players early in the window, because then they can hit the ground running.
Yes, he does.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I agree. He does plug a gap we've had since Lennon, and potentially if we get Savinho in and Odegaard can stay healthy, we have 3 of those kind of players after having 0 since since Lennon. So yeah, he's just such an exciting player. You can tell that he opens up the rest of space for the rest of the squad so effectively, because you can't really play him one-on-one. We saw them try to do it, and that kind of led directly at least to the second goal, where Kudus just kind of stood the guy up and was just like, I'm faster than you, and I know where I'm going and you don't, and there's just no chance to nothing to do. And then he made, even if the ball he put in for that doesn't get scored by a fantastic finish from Richarlison, that's still the recipe for success is being able to get a ball in to a dangerous area with no one really contesting the initial cross. If you can do that a lot, you're going to get a lot of assists. You're going to create a lot of goal scoring opportunities, and Kudus is really good at that. So I'm excited to hopefully see that continue.
There you go. Kudus is a baller, toxic headshots. I think you've summarized it well there, my friend. And I just wanted to Kudalicious. I thought that was a good one from Less Known. And good evening to, is it Gito? Sorry if I'm butchering your name. Please, somehow explain to me in the comments like I am a Labrador or something, so I get it right. But hello
in my
to you.
Time zone.
Yes.
Over there in Guam.
There you go. So, and
can I
Dennis,
pick the next player?
Yeah.
Get Dennis in there. Well, the complete opposite in terms of how people are feeling towards him. Brennan Johnson. What do you go on, Jim? You haven't been asked about your feeling towards it.
That's true.
Oh, Brennan Johnson. Yeah, I'm going to get to him as soon as I've read this question out from super thanks. So thank you very much to a user. I think.
Thanks, A.
Thanks, A. We're going to call you A because you've got a fancy, nice. You got a very lovely A there in your comments. But wanted to say all deals hang in the balance. When Levy's around, he'll run the clock down, and he has no anticipation. I think you mean no ambition and spending big. Well, let's see.
I think it's fine.
There's. I think. Look, if we end up with none of those 3 end of this window, you will have us politely nodding in agreement with you that we haven't shown enough intent in this transfer window to support the manager and set them up for success. Completely right.
If it happens, yeah.
If we finish with Eze, I will say we have done the minimum for me to be quiet and content with the window. And if we sign Eze and another, I'd say we've had a good window. So
I've got a question about window stuff. Yeah, let's come back to that topic. Bring it back up in a little bit later after we talk about Burnley, because I've got a question about the window for you.
Do you want to finish on Johnson first or go to that?
Yeah, go to Johnson first. Do
I think Brennan Johnson, if you watch Gyökeres as an example, and how he looks like a fish out of water in the Premier League, I think we don't give Johnson enough credit.
Jim, you've really gone after him. I heard you on last word on Spurs going after him as well. You're not going to let him have 1 minute, are you? And he doesn't deserve a minute either. I'm with you. Go after him.
Well, okay, so he could end up just tearing us a new one and hitting amazing form. But what I'm saying is there's loads of players who have Gift Orban, loads of them who have, looked amazing in certain leagues and then proven that doing it consistently is what's hard. And then all coming to someone like the Premier League and really, really just struggling dramatically to have a material impact. Now, for all of Brennan Johnson's faults, he has consistently scored goals for Premier League sides. And people go, oh, Wales, I'm sorry, but Gareth Bale struggled for Wales. I'm not having that as a way of bashing the guy and saying he's rubbish. For all his areas of his gameplay that you might find frustrating, he is able to find the right spaces against the best defenders in the world in the Premier League and score goals multiple times over a season and set up goals multiple times per season. I know it looks easy from us in the stands on TV, but if you put us on for a whole season, every game we start and you let me take pens, probably wouldn't score a goal. And if you give me all the free kicks as well, probably wouldn't. And that's for most people listening. You might get 1 or 2 lucky ones. When he's having goal contributions of 22, I'm sorry, he's not as bad as he gets credit for. He's a good footballer who is a frustrating profile of player to watch. And his finish was beautiful. I thought as an example, at the start of the game in the South, I said, from minute 1, someone around me was saying, oh, look, he's not wide enough. He's not wide enough. He's got to be hugging the touchline if he's a winger. I was like, Kudus isn't hugging the touchline. Why is it straight on Johnson? Why is it always straight? It's like from minute 1, we look for it. We're proactively hunting for the gaps in his game. And he does what he does best. He brings in goals and he scores them. And goals are pretty important in football. So, that's my kind of rant to say I think he did well. He's not the answer on the as a starter. But if we got rid of him, you'd find it hard to get a better squad player in the team to replace him. That's my view. What about you guys?
Yeah, it's weird. I think the problem, not problem, but I think that the paradox of Brennan Johnson is that literally all he does is score. Like that is it. I think that is like he does one thing, he does it very well. I haven't seen anyone really talk about his finish, but I think that's a striker's finish. That's a poacher's finish. That is a fantastic. You know what? I'm counting it. Tier 1 because it's what I want to say.
Tier 1.
Here we go.
Up aggregators.
Also Spurs said it here first.
That if someone actually, it's so funny by the way because I see all the aggregator stuff coming up now from the interview just before with last one on Spurs, and they never credit me because I only asked the question and I didn't actually have any of the ITK, so that's completely fair. But come on, let me have a tag to 1 million people and let Fabrizio Romano retweet it. Don't be so nasty.
Anyway, what else?
Go on.
He only scores. That's all he does, and that is. I think that he would be better in a team that prioritized like counterattacking, for example. Like a team that isn't looking to do a lot in possession, where he can really just show that he has the ability to score very well. He puts himself in great positions. His positioning on the goal, his goal was superb. He knew where he needed to be. He made the run at the perfect time. He made a really nice run, and he, cool as you like, just kind of nudged it into the goal right past Dubravka. And I think that's like you can't. Another thing you can't overvalue scoring, because that's the point of the game. You can have as much as I love Kudus, like one of the big criticism of his game is that his end product is lacking. Like he's inconsistent in his finishes. That's another current knock against Savinho, for example, is he was in a lot of really good positions, but if you go watch his last 40 shots, he puts a lot of power, he gives a lot of power behind the ball, but he can't place it very well right now, which is something again you can learn with time. But Brennan Johnson scores. He scores goals. that scoring goals wins you games. And like for as much as I love the XG and the stats and whatever, sometimes you just got to put the ball in the back of the net. And I really appreciate Brennan Johnson because he just does that. And so yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see where he ends up in this squad, because if he doesn't, like if he doesn't stick long term, and if he's like looking for other men, I do think he's one of the few pieces that we have that I think could be really valuable to another team who's like looking to use him in a different way.
Joe, are you going to cap off for any comments there, mate?
Yeah, I think what DJ said about scoring goals has been the most important thing. I think that sums it up. It was a great finish. I don't get why he gets so much hate. There's other players that are just there to score goals, and if we maybe just sum him up like he's there to score goals, then I think we can see him in a better light. I think playing on the left's hard for him too because he's right-footed, and you could tell he tried to put a couple of crosses on his left, and he's just probably out of practice with trying to do that. So if we bring in a left winger, then he doesn't have to start on the left, and he can play on the right, and he can come on. And if he can come on in 80% of our games and start 20% of the rest of them and score plenty of goals, then I don't see what the harm in him is of having him. But yeah,
he's actually got he's actually got reasonable defensive contributions when you look at his stats on FBrev, and that was flagged there. He's offensively, it's very one-dimensional statistically, right? It's just like very low on basically creating chances consistently, but then just like off the charts when it comes to like when he does create something, it's nearly always a goal. When he gets an opportunity, it's nearly always a goal. But actually, clearances, blocks, tackles, he's considered 3 times better than Son was in those contribution areas, according to the chart, right? But then Son obliterates him on everything else. But
he does put up some like good defensive numbers. There were times last season where people slated him for not getting back too. So some of that is like you can get like, I don't know, blocks and
I didn't believe that though. I never felt like he wasn't getting back. I felt that was just a reason to pile on him.
Yeah, that's true.
Every reason.
I think that is true. He does what's asked of him very well. And I think that the reason that people like pile on him is because, like, I don't know, you expect the winger to be like the dribbly guy. Which is I think part of the reason why another reason we pile on him is because we haven't had that profile in so long. But he's like the antithesis of the like the sexy winger. Like he's not gonna wow you with his skills or anything. He's gonna run past you. Yeah, like he said, Blue Blee says, he's got great pace and he's got great reflexes. And he will put the ball in the back of the net. He will know where to be and he will score. So like I said, I think like he's obviously he creates limitations in the way that you like, I guess, like plan out the squad when he actually, you know what, I was going to say something, but J-Med said it way better than I could have, because I was just going to say ramble to get to what he says. He's productive but not exciting, and I think that is the key here, is that he's productive but not exciting. I've seen I'm not going to dignify them with saying their name, but I've seen some Twitter accounts suggest that he could move centrally. I see that suggestion in the comments as well. I think that I haven't seen his hold up play, I guess, enough. I know he doesn't get dispossessed a lot, and he doesn't have much in the way of like miscontrols. That was one of the big things I saw on his Football Reference page. So I'd be interested to see that potentially. But I think for now, I there's no issue with him playing where he's playing.
I don't think he loses the ball much at all. I'm pretty sure he's very secure with it. But I think that's partly due to the fact that he doesn't take many risks.
Yes.
I think throughout preseason and the couple of games, he has tried to take on his player a little bit more. I definitely see that. I think he has. I think there's times where he's tried to push the ball past and run. But playing on the left's a bit trickier for him, being right-footed, and to do that at the same time. Is that enough Johnson chat?
Yeah, I was going to say, Jesus asked for Spence chat, and I think that's great shout. And I just want to
Maybe we
quickly
could-
call out the super
Yes, to A.
question.
Yes, I do. Because he
yes.
was at the Palace game today.
Yeah.
So he's 100% involved in some sense. Yeah, he's on as a consultant at the moment, apparently. And what I'd heard was the club want to tie him down as soon as they can to a proper contract because they're actually concerned another club might sign him up to a full-time contract and they value him a lot. So whether you think he's right or not, how that dynamic's going to work with,
I like when my squad breaks the law a little bit. That's fine with me.
Yeah, but hey,
Yeah, join the rest of them.
It's an extra person on
we
the
get
blower.
to keep running the bit with saying he looks like him.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, he's good a yin to the yang of Elanga too.
Yeah.
You got a loud guy and a quiet guy.
So Andres and Hisu, it's Spencey time. Who wants to start with Spencey boy? New contract. The new contract's done, isn't it?
Yeah,
it is.
Contract.
Yes.
But it hasn't been announced by Spurs.
I don't think so. I wonder what they're waiting for.
Paul O'Keefe said that it's 100% all done, dusted, everything's there. I don't know why Spurs haven't announced it.
I saw that he's reported that. I think I saw that someone else reported that as well, or maybe they just retweeted O'Keefe. Who's to say? But I don't know. Maybe they're just thinking that if we have all these like transfer rumors going around, and then if you're like a lay fan, I guess, and you're not seeing like the behind the scenes, and you're like, oh, we need transfers, and then we've signed Jed Spence to a new deal. I think maybe it's just a thing of timing and waiting till after the window.
Actually, you're probably 100% right there. It's probably that if we announce this now, people are just going to come in and being like, where's the signings though? Where's the signings? So like, we'll just wait till after the window and we'll say he's done. So yeah, that probably makes sense, but well deserved. And I'm very happy that he's going to be here for a longer term. He fills two holes to a very high level, is left back and right back. And I don't care if he's better on the left or the right. He's very good at both, and an extremely, extremely good defender.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing is, I was one of the things I was concerned about when we brought him in was that he played a lot as like a wing back, and I was worried that his defensive output would be lacking. But he is very much proved me wrong in that in having that worry. He's just been immense, especially at the start of this season. I think he's been. I mean, I'm gonna reference the Super Cup because I think that was, I guess, a more impressive performance, partially because of who we're going up against. But like to like make Kvaratskhelia like basically go off in disgust because of how he played against Jed Spence is just a fantastic reflection on how he played, and I'm so excited to see him continue into the season. We have now a wealth of options in the wingbacks. I do still want another one, obviously, because like,
Hincapie,
yes,
kind of solves the whole problem.
He does, yes.
We don't have to think of anyone else.
Yes,
yeah, he does. I think that position is.
Hincapie is just Ben Davies, but Ecuadorian.
But it's
3 centimeters taller too.
He's taller, yeah.
I just mean someone who's
taller and he's better.
Left center back and left back.
Yeah. English Maldini, getting in the comments. Someone said, I don't know. Des, I don't know why Ange left Spence out. I think he left him out for like 3 games, but then he became a pretty key player.
I remember some of that was a semi-reported / unreported injury from what I remember. There was like an injury that he had, and then I forgot he had, and then I went back and looked at his games, and then he was like listed on the injury report. So that's part of it probably. Also, I don't know. He hadn't made his way all the way back into the squad yet. I don't know.
Is Jed going to be in the World Cup squad, guys?
The way he's playing now, it'd be a travesty if he isn't.
It's actually mad when you look back. He wasn't in the last one, but I guess it's because he wasn't playing regularly then consistently. That's what he is now. But he feels like a shoe-in now. Surely that's a position we don't really have a standout option. And now we would. So
I would say that, yeah.
I would say yes. But you never know. It's England. If you don't play for Man City or Man United, you're at a high risk of not getting in the side, no matter how good you are. Or Liverpool, sorry. Romero, guys. Can I be controversial and say I don't think he had a very good game?
I
He didn't.
wouldn't. I would kind of agree, but I would kind of disagree. So I'll let you talk first.
I think let me say something quickly. I think he didn't have his best game, and it seemed at the start that it was one of those games where, when it's a really important game, Romero is like the best of the best. But when it's kind of like a game that he thinks we're going to win easily, that he kind of just takes his foot off the boil a bit. But I do think that it was more of the people in front of it. Was only his passing that seemed to be weak, and I do have a feeling, not that I know the answer to this because we wouldn't, but that it was sometimes the options in front of him weren't giving the right options that he was expecting, because it was the younger guys who don't have the experience. But yeah, Jim, tell me what your thoughts. You thought he wasn't very good.
I think everyone struggled a bit. I think 3-0 on paper looked like we absolutely blew them away. I think for the first 45 minutes, it was a very equal game. I think Scott Parker deserves credit. I think he got the tactics spot on. And what was clear with us, and I'm not saying like, oh, Frank did a bad job. I think he set up in a way he had to, because he had to rotate from a Wednesday night fixture. But it was clear that team lacked cohesion. It was clear that, Berryvale and Gray are not our primary options to start in that function. You notice the drop off from Paulinho and Bentancur, and that's not a dig at those guys. It's just age, right? And then when you're a central defender and your screen in front of you is an inexperienced duo that are learning, I think that made his life more difficult. I think, again, I thought just defender Johnson on here, but even him being out of position on the left makes it more difficult for you to play balls through the lines to another player's kind of probably not in the right places often, and more difficult to get the ball to. And there's no number 10. So maybe Romero was trying a bit more of the creative work to accommodate for that on the side, because we know he's one of the few players that can play through the lines like he does. And some credit to Burnley. I think they actually hit us on the break numerous times that if we imagined we hadn't switched season a second and we were back to last season, it would feel very familiar. We'd be like, oh, this again, and we keep getting caught on the counter. But they didn't have players good enough to really punish us.
They were offside a lot too.
I think Romero got caught out a few times. But
he did.
I don't think he was like bad. I just think the last memory I have of Romero properly was that Europa game where he was like literally incredible, like so good. And I thought he was brilliant, really good against PSG. And I just didn't think that reflected what he would consider a Romero performance. But he wasn't awful. He was certainly not a problem, or he still stood out as one of our best players. But
yeah, I think part of the issue is like kind of what you said about the people in front of him being inexperienced. But I think it's also that there wasn't like Romero is looking for a line breaking pass, and I think that like to be like to like kind of receive a line breaking pass, you have to like be like adept and like comfortable receiving the ball on like the half turn to be able to like continue forward, or you have to be a striker like Richarlison who can like muscle into the guy behind you and hold the ball up. And we didn't really have that creative player in the midfield, and this is again going back to needing a 10. So like I think if we had someone like Maddison or some guy who plays for Crystal Palace who may or may not be coming here later, I think that like that
on the stream.
I think that would alleviate some of the pressure from Romero to do basically like a lot of the creative passing that came out of the back line, because like Porro can play a ball over the top, but I think Romero was the only player in that team that could play a ball like through the lines that I would be comfortable with. And a lot of the times it didn't come off, but then it came off to Richarlison, and Richarlison laid it off to Sarr, and Sarr played it to Johnson. That's 3-0. So like, especially when you're playing a team like Burnley, I think that those kind of, even if it doesn't come off like 90% of the time, which it came off more than that, but like if you play that ball and it comes off once and fails 4 times, but that one time it leads to a goal scoring opportunity, I think it's worth playing that ball the other 4 times, especially because we have Van de Ven, we have Sarr, who basically as a duo destroyed essentially all of Burnley's counterattacks. Even when it would look like a 3-on-1, you would have Van de Ven running in, making a tackle, and then Sarr would come in from off screen, like bar the guy off from taking a shot. And like for as many of the like counters that Burnley had in the first half, I don't really remember them getting all that many great shooting opportunities out of it, because we have players that like allow us to not let them shoot because they're fast and eat space really well. So I think that having those kind of players gives Romero a bit of license to play those kind of balls. I'd be interesting to see if he continues like being that aggressive, if we have that much, like if we have a creative outlet, will that kind of creative onus be off of him? And if we're playing better teams, will he be a little bit more conservative because those teams can make you play on the counter a little bit more?
Yeah, that's probably a really good point about the creativity side of it and him trying to play lines. Jim, just touching on your counters quickly. I think with the new sort of last couple of seasons with the offside flag not going up straight away, puts in the memory that we were in more vulnerable situations because the player lapses. And you think back and you go, oh yeah, I remember us being caught on the counter a few times. But actually, I think a lot of those ones, they were offside. And we weren't actually, there was probably, I think there was like half of them, probably all the times that you can actually think back, they got past, Foster was offside. And then the other times, as DJ said, Ben and Star.
They were better managed, weren't they? Like the counters felt, I think it was two-pronged. I think the player quality of Burnley was very low.
Yes.
But also
in the forward line, yeah.
There was only one of them where I felt we were truly caught out and Van der Ven's pace saved our asses. Whereas the other times I felt like we kind of got this covered better than we would have before. But Savinho, I don't think he's injured. I think it's
he's not injured. He keeps posting videos of him working out at home.
So yeah, that's he's clearly not injured.
If you take Pep Guardiola at face value on literally anything, I have a bridge to sell you.
Do we need Eze before Man City, guys? I'm just going to go to the bathroom because I've been on back-to-backs, and you guys are going to tell everyone whether we need Eze.
So, interestingly, as much as I just said we need Eze, I think City's actually one of the games I think we could kind of do without him, because I feel like we can set up similarly to the way that we did against PSG, where we set up in more of a 5-3-2 with just like a really just like block up the middle, don't let anything good happen, and hit them on the break. What do we think of Jim? Unfortunately, this is recorded, so I can't say my true feelings.
Get in the Discord and we'll tell you. And
I'm the admin there. I'll kick Jim out and we'll wage a mutiny. But yeah, what do you think? Do you think we'll set up similarly? Do you think we would play Eze if we got him in today or tomorrow as the ITK claims we will?
It'd be how he adapts into the squad and the system would be part of it. That's the easy answer. I think you're right, though. I don't think he's a necessity for City. I think watching them play, I thought their first half was, Wolves were just terrible. And then Wolves actually grew back into the game. Then Reinders, is that how you say it? Reinders?
Yeah.
Reinders. He looks like the way he plays. He looks like a magician. Like physically, he looks like a magician. He looks like he's about to pull some card tricks on you. And he played like that too. He was really good. And I think they're going to be a lot better this year than they were last year, even though they finished, third? So it's going to be a tough game, but we always have City's number. And I think the PSG tactics will be what we go with. We might even see Danso come in. And what do you think? Do you think Danso do you think we'll go to the 3 in the back again? Or do you think we'll trick City again and they'll be expecting that and we'll double bluff them?
I kind of agree. I think one, I'd like to see Danso play more, because I just think he's really good. And I love me a long throw into the mixer. What can I say?
We had who else tried it? Was Bergvall tried it? Pyro tried it.
To be completely fair, I didn't think either of theirs were terrible. I just think that maybe it was just because it was so new. I was completely enamored with Danso's throw-in technique.
It's because he's so big too. It just looks so easy for him.
Yeah, exactly. Usually when you got the long throws, you got the guy who like runs up from like basically like the advertising board and they like arch their back like all the way and then like they throw it and they look like they're gonna collapse to the ground because they put 100%.
I should bring the front flip back. Remember the front flip? The handstand.
If Danso did that, I think he'd throw it out the other side. Like it'd go. But yeah, and then he just kind of
because we have Danso's amazing long throw ability, we don't need Eze in for this game. That's what we're saying.
Yes, exactly. That's the creativity.
Do you agree, Jim?
Jim,
what's that?
Yeah, yes or no?
Danso's great.
Yes or no? Yes or no? Do you agree?
Do you agree?
No, completely disagree. I don't know what I'm disagreeing to.
He doesn't like Danso's long throws. Everybody, you heard it here first.
What? No, I love them. I love them. I was just in the loo. I missed that. Yeah, I wasn't.
We're saying we don't need Eze because we've got Danso's long throws for City game.
That is true. That is worth more than £70 million number 10s through balls. Don't need them. You just throw it from the sideline and you can't even be offside. So you think that's worth even more?
Probably. So, just ask Stoke.
Yeah, exactly. He's like,
well, where are they now? I don't think we should ask him.
Yeah, since
they went away from the long throws,
actually. What happened?
Yeah.
I think they relocated to North London, actually, from what I heard.
Yeah, true. That's right. Yeah. They're still playing red and white. And
yeah, exactly. It's the same team pretty much.
Yeah. The consensus, Jim, was that he's probably not a necessity for the City game from the way we expect to set up.
Yeah, that's so true because I think we'll play similar to how we did against PSG, right? So
unless we Frank double bluffs again, because he bluffed PSG because they wouldn't have seen that formation coming because we never played it before in pre-season. So he might want to bluff City again and have them expect it. And but yeah, we don't know because that's the good thing about now, isn't it? Is that our tactics are a surprise. It's fun. It's fun to see what's going to happen. Last year or last season, we were kind of like, we know exactly what we're going to get. Now we're sort of a bit more.
It's unpredictable.
It's one of it's the only reason why I wasn't completely 110% totally against the nightmare that was the lineup announcement being in numerical order, because technically we could have put those players out in any way. Like Kudus could have played on the left or the right. Johnson could have played on the left or the right. We could have, the players could have. You give your hand away a little bit when you list them by in order of formation. So if we play like a bunch of different formations and we just never list them in that way, then you don't give the opponent anything more than, I guess, guesswork. So
yeah.
It was like putting Jed Spence at left wing when we played against PSG. People generally thought that he was going to go out and play left wing. I even heard people say after the game, Spence on the left wing. No, I don't think that's how we played. Jim, you had a shocked reaction to something. What was it?
I thought I'd woken my son up and I was about to get smacked on the back of the head by my wife. Do we want to I've probably got about 5 more minutes or so because it's midnight for me and I got to be in the car in about 6.5 hours heading off to the office. So boo-hoo, poor me. So do we want to just talk about any of the other players in particular? I think Barry Val's been in the comments a little bit there. I thought he was showing flashes of how good he
tried.
Can be.
He tried some flicks and stuff, and it was good to see. Like, you want players in that position to try things. I thought he grew into the game. He's an extremely good ball carrier, progressing ball carrier from deep in the midfield and receives the ball well. He sometimes puts it out too far in front of himself and loses it, but I thought he was pretty good. I didn't think it was his best game, though. Yeah, hey, Mark, I was meant to start work at 8:30, by the way.
And
worth watching.
Mark, by the way, one of the reasons we do the show late on a Sunday is because we want to do a weekly episode that is not predominantly all focused on the UK, and it's focused on all the wonderful Spurs fans around the world. And this is the kind of time that seems to just about work for Australia, America, the UK, the Philippines. Where else are you listening in from? Guam.
True.
So we're trying to give a bit of content out there where we can get to meet you in a live format, morning, afternoon, evening, wherever it is. So every Sunday, every single Sunday. So if you're not subscribed,
maybe Wednesdays too. soon?
subscribe. During the season, we'll probably do Wednesdays too. Yeah. Take away Jimmy's only evening when he's not podcasting.
Don't worry, I got you. Don't worry.
In front of everyone. All right, I'm in. I get too much FOMO not being in anyway, so I'm in. Who else haven't we? Do you want to talk about Mickey or Pedro or?
I mean,
I'm still sticking with Pedro is going to be my player of the year from predictions.
Yeah, I think it's a good shout.
I think that Pedro Porro is truly one of the most confusing footballers that I've ever watched, because he will do something brilliant and then he will have the worst shot you've ever seen, and that will be in a 5-minute span. And it's like, it's fine because he pulls off the brilliant stuff enough, but because I think it was like the next attack, right? Because we scored Richie's bicycle kick, which is like might be our goal of the season already, and then we go and the Burnley has the ball for a little bit. We come back up. We get it. We hit them on the break because they're kind of desperate now because they're 2-0 down. And then Porro's carrying the ball forwards, and he's got a player to his left in miles of space and a player to the right in miles of space. But you know he's going to shoot because it's Pedro Porro, and he does that. And he shoots, and the ball never comes off the ground, and it rolls out like outside of the 18-yard box. It's Pedro Porro's such a funny footballer to watch. But I love him, and I appreciate that he has made strides in his defensive ability.
He's got a lot better
over the course of last season, and I'm hoping that continues into this season. Is that what was my big concern of his, was that I just did not trust him at all. Kind of the same with Spence. Maybe it's like, maybe I just don't trust wingbacks in general. I'm playing.
He's got a great mentality too.
He does.
Great mentality. And he just is extremely versatile in his resilient in his fitness and his body as well. He can go and go and go. So yeah, I don't want to hear any Porro slander this year.
I'm gonna put a see if it actually interests people. Remember, can I do this? I was gonna say, if we get 5 more, because basically, right, we've disabled mid-rolled ads on most of our videos. So unless you're live, but once this video finishes, because I can't disable them when we're live, I have to put them to the lowest frequency possible. Then I delete them all out as soon as we stop being live, so you can watch it without ads. And all of our other episodes come out without ads in the middle. So that pretty much made us from making money to just costing loads of money to run the show. But we put your viewing experience first, because I got triggered by an ad in a video and thought, I'm not putting through you guys through that and girls through that. So we basically, memberships are the most important thing to us. So if you want to be a member, that really helps us. And if we can get 5 more memberships in the next, before 11 o'clock my time, 7 minutes, we will go on for another half hour, so 12:30 for me. Should we go for that, guys? Should we set the challenge out? But most people are tuned in on a platform where you can't be a member. But hey, also follow us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify and all those kind of things, because we do audio content as well. That's really good. I put a lot of effort into the quality of that. We all do. So check us out on there. Guys, I wanted to talk a bit. Should we preview the City game? Do you want to preview it? Lineups and
we touched a little bit when you went to
about that.
But yeah, so go for it.
There you go. Where do you want to start?
I think
go
I'm
DJ.
Scared
go DJ.
A little bit, but I feel like you kind of always have to be when you're playing City. I thought that their new signings looked good. I think Reinders, I got the privilege to see him play in Milan, and I was devastated when he went to Manchester City. But it does just feel like they're kind of like a perfect signing for them, where he's just so good, and he will. I don't know. A player like that kind of quality, and like then having Cherky to kind of be able to like back him up, and like come in off the bench and to bring in someone like Cherky is the reason why I think we're going to play more the way we did against PSG, where we'll be really, really prioritize being solid defensively and then work on like scoring on the counters. Because one, we don't really have the option to play with a creative midfield, which means that they can kind of like even if we didn't play in that formation, our midfield is not going to be creative unless we get Eze in and he like takes to the squad like a fish to water. But I think that'll allow City to play more creatively in the midfield, which will then would be way more way harder to deal with, I guess. The one thing I would be interested in is having, because I know we played with Richarlison and Kudus against City or against PSG, and then we subbed on Solanke and Tell. I would be interested to see if, depending on game state, we spring in Johnson, like was mentioned in the chat. Unfortunately, my camera's
score the winning goal.
blocking the chat, so I can't read the names of anybody.
It's less known, so that one with a great Gareth Bale picture. Is it? Yeah.
Yes. But yeah, I think it'd be interesting because he has played a similar position to that. He played as a second striker at Nottingham Forest, and I don't know, he was pretty good there. He played well. He scored a lot, and obviously, if you're playing as a striker, your main thing to do is do what? Score goals. He's good at that. So I think that would be interesting to see if we utilize him there, depending on game state.
There you go, Joe. Anything to add on that? Because we didn't get 5 memberships, so we're wrapping up in 3 minutes, mate. We've got 1,045 people tuned in right now. So hello to you all. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to the OSO White Hart Lane Weekly. We do it every Sunday night. Aim to be at a time that's good for fans all around the world, so we can enjoy it, whether you're from the UK, the US, the Philippines, Guam, Australia, Bangladesh, India, wherever you are. We all want you to enjoy it with you. Sorry, Joe, should we do a quick score prediction, wrap up on score predictions for City Spurs and leave it there? So, Joe?
I'll go first. We always have City's number. I'm going to go, we win 3-2.
3-2?
I think they will let us get a few. And Johnson will get the winner, guaranteed. And Eze will be on the bench.
Big shout. Go on, Deej.
I will go with a 3-2. Just feels like the best. The most likely option in which we win is what I will say. So I will go with 3-1 because I can't predict the same thing as Joe, because I think that we will set up to be defensively solid. I think that Romero is good at getting in Haaland's head, so that hopefully we can play to that. And then I think that Kudus and Richarlison will continue to become Tottenham's new deadly duo up front, and we'll have at least 2 goals, which are just one's Kudus to Richarlison, the other one's Richarlison to Kudus, and the third one will be
Romero to Johnson.
It'll be Romero off a corner or a set piece, because we're set piece merchants now.
Well, I'm going to go I'm going to give you 2 predictions, my dream one and my reality one. So my sensible reality one will be it's going to be a 2-2 draw. It's going to be a good game. I think it's going to be actually I'm going to do 1-1 draw. 1-1 draw. I think 1-1. I think we'll go 1-0 up, hold it really tight to the 80th minute, and they'll break us down and get a goal, and we'll just cling in there for a draw, which I think would be a brilliant result. Right there, Ted. My dream result is it's 1-1, 5 minutes to go. The sub board goes up. Eze and Savinho are coming on.
What number's coming on for Eze?
There's got to be 7, right?
No, he'd take the 10 off Maddison, wouldn't he?
I don't think we're going to give. There's no chance we take Maddison's number away.
He's out for the season.
I think
Can you do like a temporary one where it's just like in a slightly different color and it just gets given back, like he loans the 10?
We'll give him the 100 or the 0.
Is he a 10? Is he 10 at Palace?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
It's a tough.
7's a good call, I think.
But then what about Savinho? I thought Savinho had 7 wrapped up.
Well, that's the other thing that I think is interesting that they're kind of talking about in the chat, that Joshua and Kamal are talking about. I think an interesting part of the Savinho saga is that we're playing City at the weekend, and it could be that they're trying to delay the transfer until we play them, because that's just terrible optics if you sell a player and then that same week he comes back and scores it at your place. So,
but it's my dream, dude, right?
Well,
Savinho
yeah.
and Eze, don't you get
In
out
my
my dreams.
dream,
Get out my dreams. Get
in
out
my
dreams.
dream, at the end of the game, we have the Premier League. They've finally woken up. City are charged for all 115 of their charges, and then they get sent to non-league at the advent of the game after we win 117 to nothing.
Straight to jail.
Straight to jail. Just put the whole club into helicopters, pick it up, and just drop the stadium into Alcatraz.
Sorry, Jim, you were saying.
So yeah, my dream. Still, it's late here. My dream is 1-1, 5 minutes to go. Eze, Savinho, come on. 7 and 10. Gosh, they go on. You see this? You see the Savinho step overs. Doof, doof, doof. Oh, who's this Rangers guy? Oh, he's on his ass. That's who he is. He's scrambling. He's doing that like Steven Gerrard clambering for the ball trying to get back to it. And then you've got him just looking up and just laying it over to Eze, who looks in the other direction and points up to me in the crowd in the away end and just left foots it, top bins mid-air, then looks back at the goal.
Mid-shot, like a basketball turnaround shot. He shoots and then turns around to you, points, and then the ball goes in.
Yeah, mid-air, like Ronaldinho, like not even looking. He's like still bang top corner. He's floating. It's like Michael Jordan, the slow motion like type leap. Bang, top corner. Rips his shirt off, and I'm tattooed my face on the back, and he says follow Oso Spurs and sign up to a membership. It's only $1.99 a month, and Jim's awesome on his back. And then we win the game, and
then the 89th minute, outside of the box, Romero pulls Haaland's ponytail like he did to Cucurella, just to top it off.
Yeah, I think that's a good one. And then I check my phone. We've just signed a centre back.
Subs? No.
Just signed a centre back, and I can't remember his name.
Hincapie. You're really passionate about this transfer, Jim.
Really passionate about him, and as you can tell, I've researched him a lot because I know his name.
If we don't sign him, it's a moral failing by the club at this point.
It'd be one of those where I get really angry about it, and I'm in the comments arguing at 1 a.m, and people on Twitter being like, "He's class. What are you talking about?"
Exactly.
Whilst googling his name. I think we've all been that person digging their heels in over a player.
Well, at midnight, Jim, you've got the chance to go to sleep now and
live that reality.
Jinyu's been very passionate and consistent that they're all right in Hincapie, but not the best centre back. So interested to know why. Are you a fan of the Bundesliga? And you've not Bundesliga? I'm getting mixed up with
Bundesliga.
Yeah, Bundesliga. Yeah, with are you a fan of the Bundesliga, or like why how come you know so much about them, and what's your view on who we should get instead? But that's it, I think, guys. We'll wrap up, shall we?
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah.
Be back tomorrow for an Eze unveiling stream.
Tomorrow. So new episodes coming out. Listen, so if you're a member, you'll get the Flav interview we did. We had Flav Bateman on, and we learned about all the stuff that goes on behind the scenes and the overlap and loads of other cool stuff. So we did a Oso Spurs and fighting cock type thing with Flav. Got together and had a good chat for an hour. So that's video is available now on YouTube. If you're a member, you can find it in the members only section. If you're not, we're releasing a 20-minute version of that hour and 10-minute long video. It'll come out next Wednesday, scheduled to come out. Tomorrow we're doing a pod, D, Johnny, Si, Stu and I.
The originals.
Debriefing on the game. The originals, yeah. And then Tuesday will be the Eze's collab vid, because he'll hopefully be announced. And Thursday probably previewing City. So there you go. Lots coming up. Then next Sunday back here.
Thank God the season's back.
So to make sure you know when we're doing our Sunday live shows, you can't just follow us. You have to click on the little bell icon as well. Then it'll come up on your screen.
Ding. Ding, ding, ding.
They're live. Anyway.
All right.
So we do this thing of come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.